Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for organic Bible study that's hypoallergenic. Well, today we're looking at verses 11 through 14 in Psalm 88, and I hope you've been with me all week. If you haven't, go back and pick up the podcasts on download so you can listen to all of these episodes on Psalm 88. It's an interesting psalm. It's a psalm of honesty. It's a psalm of affliction. It's a psalm of a man who's praying to the Lord and he's shut up and he can't come out and he's on some bed of affliction that's just horrific. And he's making his prayer to the Lord. And he even says there in verse 9, I've stretched out my hands to the Lord. Here we come to verse 11 through 14 today, and what we have is the description that he began in verse 10 is really amplified. It's unpacked for us, and we get a vision into, a window opened into hell itself. Let me read verses 11 through 14. Shall thy loving kindness be declared in the grave, or thy faithfulness in destruction? Shall thy wonders be known in the dark, and thy righteousness in the land of forgetfulness? But unto thee I have cried, O Lord, and in the morning shall my prayer prevent thee. Lord, why castest thou off my soul? Why hidest thou thy face from me? Now, what we have here, as I said, is a multiplication of, it's an expansion on the thought that we began in verse 10. Verse 10 says, Wilt thou show wonders to the dead? Shall the dead arise and praise thee, Selah? Now what we have in 11 through 14 is this expansion, this development of the idea of the dead praising God. Well, what's it like to be dead? What's it like in hell? And what we have here is a description in verse 11. And another interesting word that we find in the New Testament, Abaddon, is used here in verse 11. Shall thy loving kindness be declared in the grave, or thy faithfulness in destruction? The word translated destruction in the Hebrew is Abaddon. Now we go to, Revelation. I believe it's Revelation. Yeah, Revelation chapter 9. And chapter 9 talks about the scorpions as they come up out of the bottomless pit that are going to afflict men on the earth during the time of the Great Tribulation. Now in verse 11, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. So from Psalm 88, we understand the word Abaddon to mean the place of destruction. And then in Revelation, we find out that there's an angel over the pit whose name is destruction. That's real. I mean, it's right here in the Scripture, attested there in the book of Revelation. Shall thy wonders be known in the dark, and thy righteousness in the land of forgetfulness? Well, what's hell like? It's dark, and it's a place where you don't remember anything, and you're also forgotten of God. Look at verse 14. Why casteth off my soul? He's speaking to the Lord there. Why hidest thou thy face from me? You see, the Lord is departed from these souls. He's no longer there with them. And you say that hell is going to be a place of interest because your friends will be there, and you think it's going to be a great time because you're going to be with everyone that you've been carousing with and acting wickedly with in this life. It won't be that, my friend. It's a place of destruction. It is a place of torment. It is a place of darkness. It is a place of separation from God. That truly is hell. But verse 13, right there in the middle of that, kind of gives us this little glimpse of hope for the man who's in this life praying to the Lord, wishing to avoid that place of destruction. And he says, I have cried, O Lord, unto thee, and in the morning shall my prayer prevent or go before thee. You see, you can avoid that place of ultimate destruction, that place of torment, if you'll just cry unto the Lord. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow as we conclude Psalm 88 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.